So we have just a few minutes without the kids. We have most of them over playing at the skate park, but we do have a sleeping baby next to us, and so we're hoping that we can get this video recorded before she wakes up.
Yeah, the overall idea of this video is to give everyone the basis, a summary of why we're doing what we're doing. And even for us, it's a little difficult to summarize succinctly, but we're going to do our very best to describe to you guys why we're doing what we're doing, when it started, and the direction we're headed.
So basically, there are three things that led us to this point in our journey. First being the way we were raised. We were both raised in large Christian families, and from my earliest memories, I remember being taught the importance of acts of selfless love, acts of kindness towards others, putting them above ourselves, and just finding ways to love and serve those around us.
Yeah, I think that's definitely impacted both of us and shaped who we are to this day, and is definitely a big reason as to why we're doing what we're doing. Another reason we're doing what we're doing is our love for travel. So even before we met, we both like to travel. In fact, we both met while traveling on a city bus in Hawaii. That can be a story for another time. But traveling, we have found, has brought us closer together, and we've done it ever since we were first married. In fact, when we first got married, we wanted to, for our honeymoon, take a trip around the world. We didn't have enough money to do that. In fact, we had no money. So we lived in a tiny little hotel room for 6 months while she worked at an airline and I worked doing construction. We saved every penny we could, and we took off on an around the world trip, as cheap as you possibly can imagine. But we did it. We made it all the way around, and we created memories for forever. Memories for our kids even. We have videos and we have photos that we share with them, and it's fun for them. But we found that this brings us closer together, and that has been really important for us as a family.
When we decided that we were going to start a family, we sat down and we kind of mapped out the things that we wanted to have happen in our family, things that we wanted to prioritize, and we compiled a list. I remember sitting on the bed one day and writing down all of the things that we wanted to have happen, or things that we wanted to emphasize in our lives. And top of the list was service. We both felt that that was an integral part of a happy family, was learning how to serve others and to put others above yourself. So we wanted service to be the number one thing in our family, and we wanted adventure and exploring and traveling to be part of it. So we decided that that was going to be a focus of our lives. That
is easier said than done. We have 6 kids, and traveling with kids is not easy for anybody, but it's particularly difficult to travel in a meaningful way. We wanted to incorporate some sort of service, and in a way that they would be able to learn about the world around them as well at the same time, and overcome difficulties and trials together as a family in the hopes that it would bring us together and instill charity in their hearts as we raise them. What? It's
like a big project. It's like a big idea that we're trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
So this idea that we came up with 17 years ago has dictated all decisions in our lives, from what Chris chose to study at school to how long he was in school, the career he chose, his business decisions, the location of the business, the homes that we bought, the homes that we didn't buy, the cars that we put up with, and and just everything. I mean, from the fact that our clothes are mostly hand-me-downs from cousins, or bought secondhand, or at the cheapest stores that possibly can get them from. Every little part of our lives has been leading up to this moment.
It's been a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
It's gigantic. And when we go back to the very beginning, when I think about why I chose to go into dental school in the first place, it was, this plan was the reason. We saw dentistry as the perfect vehicle to be able to have a skill that we could help people in an immediate way. I can go to a rural area that doesn't get any dental access to care basically, and I can perform dentistry and do something for them that they can't get in any other way, and it has an immediate impact on their life for the better. And ever since the very first year in dental school, I was going on dental missions, and I loved it. I loved being able to provide a service for these people that were suffering through pain and massive problems, and be able to fix it right then and there. And it was very, very gratifying. In my last year in dental school, I took a trip to the South Pacific, to Tonga, on a dental mission, and it was a little bit different. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has a permanent clinic set up there, which was really neat to be a part of that. That's kind of what I had been looking towards doing anyway. But I realized that really I wanted to do this in the South Pacific anyway, because well, I went to school in Hawaii. I love the culture, I love the people. It's a very wholesome place. I love surfing, I love the ocean in general, and I just thought it would be the perfect place to bring my family to do this work. And so my objective changed a little bit. Previously, I had thought about doing this in Latin America, but as I went on these trips, I saw so many people going to Latin America, and because it's so easy, it really is, to go for a week and come back. And I started thinking, well, these people are already getting a whole lot of help. And then as I look at the South Pacific Islands, there's places in the South Pacific that never get any help. There's tiny little islands way out in the middle of nowhere. The only way to get to them is by boat. And I started thinking, that seems like where I need to be. And so our plan changed a little bit, and we decided to get a boat and do this from a boat. It took a little convincing.
A lot of convincing.
But we're super excited about it now.
Even though we knew from the beginning what our end goal was, and decisions were made along the way, it still took a long time, just because the schooling took a really long time, getting the business lined up. Thankfully, we had planned with his brother from the very beginning to go in partnership together so that we could work this schedule where one is working while the other is serving. We were able to get that lined up, but it still took a while for the business to get going. It took a long time to pick out a boat. Like, Chris spent years searching for one, because it took years to be able to get the funding to even apply for a loan. And then the loan has taken us forever to get, and it still is pending, and hopefully everything goes through. Couple more weeks, we'll find out for sure. But we are super excited to be on this journey. But also, what really took the longest was that we just kept having kids, and we couldn't go on the boat with a tiny little newborn or while I was pregnant. And so Genevieve finally turned 1 year old, and we thought that now would be a perfect time to set out with our family.
Yeah, and it really did take a long time, 17 years. When you talk about it like that, it seems, I mean, you wonder why it took that long. But when you add up the school, which took 11 and a half years, and then starting a business, waiting for my brother to graduate, getting the business to the point that it could run smoothly with just one of us there, and then, yeah, the kids. So, and then COVID, of course.
Oh, yeah.
On top of all of it, COVID. It's been very difficult. But we are finally there. We're finally in France, actually, with all of our kids, which is a major undertaking in and of itself. And we've bought the boat with money from the bank that we don't have yet, and we are provisioning it right now with everything that we're going to need to set off across the Atlantic Ocean. So the first trip is basically to get the boat from here in France to the Caribbean, and we'll call that a success if we make that. So it's going to take us about 8 weeks to do the sailing part. The overall idea is to take 3 months at a time to do this dental service work, and then go back to Tulsa to work. And then every other 3 months, basically, we'll be switching on and off on the boat or working. So this first leg is basically just to get the boat to the Caribbean islands, and then, or the Caribbean Sea, and then specifically the U.S. Virgin Islands, and then the next trip, we hopefully will be able to start doing some charity work in the Dominican Republic, is where we'll be able to start. And then we'll see where it goes from there. But hopefully we can get to eventually the South Pacific within a year and a half or so. I don't know if anyone, even me, comprehends how hard the actual crossing of the ocean is going to be yet. But I think it's going to be a good experience, even though it's going to be hard. It'll be an accomplishment that I hope that they can look fondly on for the rest of their lives. It's a very difficult thing that if they accomplish, which hopefully we will.
Hopefully we make it.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's a good thing. I'd be proud of it. I will be proud of it. So
yeah.
So that's our idea. That's the whole reason we're doing this, and hopefully that made sense. There's a lot of things in our past that have pushed us this direction, and it's been a long plan, a long term goal. I think for me anyway, this has been the hardest thing by far that I've ever done, and harder than dental school, harder than anything, just because there's so many facets to this plan that we had no idea about. We had to figure out, and so many long-term accomplishments, sacrifices that we had to put in place to even get started on the plan. And then they all had to work in a perfect succession for us to make it here. And if I had a chance to do it all over again, maybe we could do it faster. Maybe we could do it better. I don't know. But this is how long it's taken us. And we're happy to be at least starting at this point in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And it's pretty awesome that we get to bring the kids along with us. I mean, that's like the whole reason we're doing it, right? And I remember when Chris was going out on the dental mission trips from year one, and I was so jealous he got to go do it. And I was just home with Lorenzo, and then I was home with Solomon, and then I was home with Eliza Wren, and he just was on these mission trips, and I was so jealous that he got to go. And then we tried as soon as we could. I mean, I searched for opportunities to serve with the kids, and there weren't any. And finally we found one, and we were able to take little Solomon and little Lorenzo, but they weren't allowed to do anything. I couldn't do anything. And so I'm so excited for us to finally be able to start doing something that we all get to participate together.
Yeah, and the kids are super excited about it.
And already traveling with kids, like, you have so many experiences, like that we'll show in future episodes. But I mean, we lost Lorenzo on the subway. We have had a lot of accidents.
Enid pulled the fire alarm in another store yesterday. Anyway.
So it's moments like those where it's so while it's happening, but it's memories that hopefully they take with them forever, and they remember the times that they were together as a family and how much love that we have for them. That's really what I hope for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the whole reason we're doing this, hopefully to bring us together closer as a family and to help them become the best people that they can be. And that's my goal. That's the overall goal. That's the reason behind the plan, basically. So we're very thankful that you guys are watching these videos. We are super happy to share. It makes us feel good to make these videos that other people may enjoy. For us, I know that we're gonna enjoy them. So they may be a little bit like home videos, but that's because we think they'll be invaluable for us and the kids later. And they're a treasure for us. And thank you for watching. We also just wanted to say thanks to everybody.
Hey, what are you guys doing?
What's happening?
I missed you.
Were you guys French kissing?
Hey,
Get in here.
why aren't you skating, guys?
What are you talking about? Okay. Anyway, so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. We are no longer alone. I wanted to say thank you to everybody that's helped us along the way. Thank you to all of my patients that have given me business and helped me produce a business to support such an endeavor. Thank you to my parents, family, friend, everyone who has helped us along the way. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Good, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.